The Taliban wants to make a deal, and we're meeting with them, and we're saying it has to be a ceasefire. They didn't want to do a ceasefire, but now they do want to do a ceasefire. I believe it will probably work out that way, and we'll see what happens.
And the Taliban said today that they are open to restarting these peace talks with the United States, but they did not go so well in the past, so we'll see if this time it's any different, Julie.
Okay, Kristen Fisher in West Palm Beach, Florida. Thank you. So can Washington and the Taliban reach a peace deal? That is the question. For more on all of this, let's bring in Lieutenant Colonel James Carafano, National Security Analyst with the Heritage Foundation. Thank you very much for talking to us. President Trump had made the surprise visit to the troops on Thanksgiving, which was incredible. And then he came out with this big news that he had, in fact, reopened peace negotiations with the Taliban, which I should remind our viewers comes just less than 3 months after he abruptly called the talks off. They called him dead. So despite signs that a deal was actually close to ending 18 years of war, with the president now saying that talks may be resuming, what do you make of this? Can the two sides reach a peace deal?
Yeah. So, first of all, nobody talks about this. We want to make clear that the secrecy of the visit, that's to protect the troops. I mean, we're going to protect the president. That's not a problem. But you have hundreds of troops there. You don't want somebody to try something. So it's really about the safety of the troops, the way they do it this way. And I don't know how close we were to an actual deal. I don't believe the president was actually ever briefed on the details of a deal, so that whether he would sign that particular deal, I think, is up for grabs. But here's what I think the United States has been crystal clear and what's super important. We're going to continue to support the Afghan people and the Afghan military so they can defend themselves. And we're going to continue to operate in the country to fight terrorism. With those prerequisites in place, I think if the Taliban wants to come to to the table, we can reach a kind of agreement which assures the people of Afghanistan don't have to worry about being overrun by the Taliban again. The question is, will the Taliban do that? And to be honest with you, the only people going to answer that question are the Taliban.
Well, exactly. And the Taliban has answered that question. I mean, the Taliban has come out and said that they will not come down to talks. They, in fact, say that they will not talk and they won't come up with any kind of deal until the U.S. troops are out of Afghanistan. Whether the president pulls a few out, few thousand, that's not taking them all out, which means that the Taliban isn't going to be happy with that. And then they think that they're calling the shots when clearly they are not. They now are saying that it's way too early, that's a quote, to speak of resuming direct talks with Washington. So it's a bit confusing. What does each side want?
Yeah, so that's never going to happen. And the Taliban thought here's the thing, the Taliban actually thought it was. They thought they were going to sign a deal and the U.S., it was just an excuse. And then after the U.S. signed the deal, we were going to walk away. And the stunning reality of when the president just pulled the plug is they suddenly realized they would do that. And people keep saying, well, we're not winning the war. We're not winning the war. Of course, we're not fighting a war. The Afghan people are defending themselves. It's very different. But the other thing is the Taliban aren't winning either. They don't control more territory, and they're in just as much of a stalemate as we are. The question is can we live with the stalemate? And the answer is yes. Can the Taliban? I think that's a different question.
Before I let you go, what does this all say about Trump's negotiating style?
Well, he's very consistent. On the one hand, he demonstrates he's willing to protect U.S. interests and to be there and stay there, but in a sustained way. But on the other hand, he's saying, look, anytime the other side wants to stop, I'm willing to talk. He's consistent with the Chinese, the Russians, the Iranians, and the Taliban.
And North Korea.
And
James
North Korea.
Carafano, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.